succeed strong.
Wednesday, it was widely said reports of the Republican Party's demise were greatly exaggerated. Our next guest maybe would quote Yogi Berra and say indeed the off-year election in '09 was deja vu all over again. Craig Shirley is Ronald Reagan's biographer, and he is now out with the long-awaited sequel to his Reagan's Revolution volume of 4 years ago. The latest book is called Rendezvous with Destiny, Mr. Reagan and the Campaign That Changed America. Craig Shirley joins us live this morning here in the studio, and it's great to have you with us. The campaign that changed America in many ways changed the Republican Party, which found itself in very similar straits to what the GOP was earlier this year.
Very much so. After 1976, after Gerald Ford's loss, after the corruption of Watergate and Richard Nixon, only one state in the country has Republican control, and that's Kansas. The other 49 other states have either near or total Democratic control. The Republican Party is bankrupt. They have to close the offices for 3 weeks in December of '76 just to save on the electricity bill. So the Republican Party is essentially an empty vessel into which Reagan, starting in 1977, starts a campaign for a new Republican Party that is populist.
But his accession, I should say, to the nomination was by no means assured, because it was a tough campaign fight. George Herbert Walker Bush, the presumed front runner in that race. Right. There's that great scene in New Hampshire during the debate when they're trying to turn off Reagan's microphone, and he says, "I paid for this microphone."
He storms at him, yeah.
And a lot of people, for a lot of people, I think Ronald Reagan suddenly came on their political radar.
Very much so, very much so. You know, at the end of 1979, he only had the support of 28% of Republicans nationwide, which is why he drew such heavy competition. It included John Connally, former Senator Howard Baker, former Senator Bob Dole, Ambassador George Bush. It was a very impressive lineup of contenders for the 1980 Republican nomination. Reagan was the front runner, but only nominally.
What was the tipping point? What got him to the head of that very impressive group of Republicans and then got him onto the election?
The tipping point was losing the Iowa caucuses. That's what set Reagan in motion, because he'd been coasting for all of 1979. He was furious about losing the Iowa caucuses. He'd been a hometown boy, he'd been a local hero. He was a local Dutch Reagan had been a local radio host on WHO radio for many years there in Des Moines, broadcast Cubs games, broadcast Big Ten football games, but he didn't campaign there, and he lost this huge upset to George Bush, and that's when he took control of his campaign.
I think you're in a really good position to sort of assess the situation in the Republican Party right now. A lot of people are invoking Ronald Reagan's name.
Right.
Are there any true believers with whom the late former president might immediately identify, do you think?
No, I don't think so, Dave, because I'll tell you is that, don't take my word for it, two historians, John Patrick Diggins and James McGregor Burns, both identified Reagan in the category of greatness alongside Washington, Lincoln, and FDR, because they liberated many, many people, and men like that just don't grow on trees every day.
If we've learned anything, it is that. This is the book, Rendezvous with Destiny, and the GOP has been in similar straits before. Craig Shirley details how Ronald Reagan pulled the GOP out in a while back. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.